Oh no. Hey guys, it's Keegan. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I thought we would do a little bake with me video. I asked you guys what video you wanted to see, and a lot of you guys were like, do a baking or a cooking video. I know that you guys love when I cook in my vlog, so I thought it'd be fun to just bake some Christmas cookies together, chat, talk, hang out. I just thought it'd be like a fun time. Like, I genuinely love baking so much. I like cooking. You guys have seen in my vlogs that I'm not the best at it. I'm a work in progress with cooking, but baking is my forte. That is where I thrive. So I thought we would bake some Christmas cookies today, get ourselves in the Christmas spirit. I'm pretty sure when I upload this video, it's still not Thanksgiving, but it's close enough. Like, we can be Christmassy now, okay? I don't think it's ever too early to celebrate Christmas. Like, it will be July and I will be watching what I got for Christmas videos. It's just who I am. I love Christmas. So I thought we would bake some cookies. The cookies that I'm making today are peanut butter blossom cookies. These are my favorite cookies. I will link the recipe down below, but I've been making these cookies ever since I was a little kid. It is such an easy recipe, like any beginner can do it. I was going to make this like super fancy like gingerbread cupcake with like a brown butter cinnamon cream cheese frosting, but I don't have a mixer, so I couldn't do that. So we're sticking with a classic cookie that I love. When I was growing up, everyone used to be like, Keegan, please make these cookies. Keegan, please make these cookies. They're so good. So I'm gonna share the recipe with you guys. It's not like a crazy recipe. Like I said, I'll link it down below. Let's get into cooking. First and foremost, we need to get all the stuff out because I literally haven't done any of that. First step is to preheat the oven to 375. This is the only big mixing bowl that I have clean right now. The rest of them are dirty. This is kind of big. Like, I don't want to like put my hair in it because we're gonna use it, but like compare it to my head, she's pretty big. Also, I'm thinking about this. I'm the only one going to be eating these cookies. Like, I live alone. I don't have anyone to share these with. First step for making these cookies is to combine peanut butter and shortening. We need half a cup of shortening and 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. I saw this on TikTok that instead of putting the peanut butter in a measuring cup, you can weigh it. And I thought that was smarter so I don't have to like get dirty another dish. One thing about me, I'm the baddest alive. No, I'm just kidding. One thing about me is that I am lazy and I'm going to try to do something with the least amount of dishes possible because I don't want to clean them. So I have this weight right here. This is literally for packages. Like, I weigh my to-do list packages on this. Like, this isn't for cooking, but I'm using it for cooking. I'm going to put this bowl on it and then zero it out. Trying to get a good shot for you guys. So we are going to do 3/4 cup of peanut butter, which is a little bit less than 6.5 ounces. You want to do creamy peanut butter with this. Oh, did anyone else used to eat like peanut butter by the spoonful when they were kids? Because I definitely did. I was a peanut butter girly, still am. Okay, this was 2.5 ounces, 4.5. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. If there's a little bit extra peanut butter, I'm not one to be mad about that. Okay, that is more. So this is 6.7 and we need 6.35. Whatever, I don't really care. We have a little bit extra peanut butter, but I love a peanut butter, so I'm not mad about it. Next up, we are doing shortening. So this is Crisco shortening sticks. They're actually sponsoring this video. No, kidding. They're not sponsoring this video. That would be cool though. Crisco, hit me up. I loved baking. When I was younger, I was obsessed with Cake Boss. The chokehold that Cake Boss had on me when I was a kid, and I tried oh my gosh, I tried to make a cake like they did. Like, I wanted to make, this is so funny, I wanted to make my dogs, like make a cake that looked like my dogs, and I got like the Rice Krispie treats, I got fondant, which they call fondant. Recently I learned it's called fondant, not fondant. Does anybody else like double check their ingredients like 50 times, or like the measurements, even though they know it? You're like, just making sure. But anyways, I tried making my dogs out of like Rice Krispie treats and fondant, and it literally went so bad. I remember I was like 10 years old and I was like sweating in the kitchen and being like, how does Buddy do this? So yeah, I've learned that I am not like a professional cake baker, and it's a lot harder than it looks. Not as easy as it may appear to some people. So that was like a humbling experience for me, and that was like the first thing that showed me I am still an amateur at baking and cooking. Even if I do enjoy it, I'm not a professional. I'm just cutting this at the halfway mark. I want you guys to be able to see what's going on, so I got this box and we're gonna put this little camera. We'll see if this works. Oh, the box is not big enough for the tripod. This is either gonna like be really good or it's gonna fall, and it's looking like it's gonna fall. It's stay. Ah! If this falls, that's gonna be tragic. Okay, it's working so far. It's not the best angle, but please, I'm doing this all alone. I have no one to help me. This is just me. Ah! I am dramatic. I will never pretend like I'm not the most dramatic person alive. Maybe not the most dramatic person alive, but I am pretty dramatic. One really fun thing about this is I don't have a hand mixer. Ooh, it's done preheating. I only have a spatula, so we're going to combine this by hand, which is something I've never personally done. I've made cookies like with just a spatula, but I've never made this recipe without some kind of like hand mixer. Like when I was growing up, my family had a KitchenAid. I remember my dad bought my mom a KitchenAid because he wanted her to start cooking and baking more, and she was like, I hate cooking and baking. I remember she opened it and she was like, thanks. Like she didn't want it. She didn't want that as a present. My dad always got my mom presents that he wanted when I was growing up. I remember he bought her like a photo printer and she was like, she obviously wouldn't tell him that. Every gift she got from him when I was younger was just a gift that he wanted for himself. Speaking of gifts, I thought it would be fun to share my Christmas wish list with you guys while I was cooking and baking these cookies. I wanted to just kind of make this like a very Christmassy vibe video. Comment down below your Christmas wish list and if there's anything that you want or that you're gonna give to people, because I haven't bought a single Christmas gift for anyone. Typically, I'm really on top of it. Like before December even starts, I have everyone's Christmas wish list. I'm buying gifts for everyone. Like I already know what I'm getting them. If I haven't already bought them, like I already have an idea in my head. I have no idea what I'm gonna get anyone. Like not a single person in my life. I just feel like very, like I don't even know. I'm not normally like this. I thought I'd share with you guys my Christmas wish list, so please comment yours down below. You guys can give me some ideas of what to get people. So the first thing that I'm asking for would come in handy right now. I'm asking for a little hand mixer. My mom kept asking me if I wanted a KitchenAid, like a standing mixer for Christmas, and I felt like at one point in my life, yes, I would want one, but I don't think I want one right now. A hand mixer is good with me because it does the same thing for the most part. I mean, I have space for it, but I don't really feel like I bake enough. Okay, one thing about doing this by hand is there's like a bunch of clumps of the shortening, like it's not smoothing out. This looks very pretty. It's literally just fat and peanut butter combined. Isn't peanut butter fat? I'm like, it's just fat. But that is the first thing on my Christmas wish list is a hand mixer. I have been baking cookies like this for a while with just like a spatula, and it works perfectly fine, but I just feel like a hand mixer would just make it easier. Also, there is something so satisfying about licking the little attachment on the hand mixer. Something about it just brings me back to when I was a kid. Wait. I have these photos of me when I was a little kid. I printed them out and then hung them on my fridge. It makes me smile. I'm like, oh, I was young once. I still am. First step is done. What's next? Now we're gonna do a 1/3 cup of sugar and a 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Another thing that I've actually already gotten for Christmas is my Christmas tree. You guys have not seen it in my vlogs. Go watch my vlogs. But it's beautiful. It's sitting behind you. It's from Costco. I really wanted it. My mom was at Costco and she's like, I know you've been wanting this. My camera battery just died, but we're back. I was just talking and then I looked up and I was like, oh, it's dead. It didn't even warn me. It just died. But I just added a 1/3 cup of sugar and now we're adding a 1/3 cup of brown sugar. I have this bear thing that you put inside of this and it's supposed to keep your brown sugar moist, but there are so many solid chunks in here that I don't think I did this right. So if anyone knows how to use these things, let me know. Because every single time I make cookies, I literally have to separate rock hard brown sugar so I can get to the moist brown sugar at the bottom. But anyways, I know for a fact that one of my Christmas presents was my Christmas tree because my mom got it for me and she was like, do you want me to just include this in your Christmas present instead of you paying me back? And I was like, yeah, that is how my family works for Christmas. Everything my mom buys me, it's like, that's a Christmas gift. And I'm like, okay. This isn't soft brown sugar, which I'm kind of nervous about. Kind of making me sweat a little bit. There's also that trick where you can put like a piece of bread or you can like microwave the brown sugar. I don't have any bread on hand right now. I haven't gone grocery shopping in a really long time. This is not good. We're just gonna spoonful the soft brown sugar in and we're gonna go with it. And then I'm gonna Google how to make that bear thing work because it worked last time. Anyway, so one Christmas gift I am getting for a fact is my Christmas tree and I love it. 1 cup of brown sugar in. And now we mix again. Let me look at my phone first and see, like, what else did I ask for Christmas? Me just going into the links that I sent my mom. Oh, I'm asking for a pair of running shoes. I always ask you guys, like, what running shoes you guys recommend, and this was the one that the most people recommended. I'll link all the things that I'm asking for down below for you guys in case you're wanting them. So the shoes that I'm asking for are the Hoka? I think it's Hoka, not Hoka. Hoka's like like a, not a drug, like a smoking thing, right? You can tell I'm like really into that stuff. No, I'm just kidding. These are the Bondi 8. Those are the ones that so many of you guys recommended, and then I'm asking for, what color did I ask? Oh, like the all white, really simple, really cute. The running shoes that I have, I just don't love them. They kind of hurt my feet, so I wanted to get a new pair, and I've been wanting a new pair for a while, and I simply just kept pushing it off. And so I was like, now's a good time. I don't have to pay for it, and I can ask for it for Christmas. Just saying, I don't expect to get any of this stuff for Christmas. None of it. Like, these are just things that I randomly thought that I wanted, and I wrote them down, and if I get them, great. If I don't, I'm not pressed about it. I'm actually gonna take a fork. I'm trying to get any sugar clumps out of here. Yeah, there's some brown sugar clumps, and I just want to crush those out. Another thing that I'm asking for Christmas. Oh, I actually don't know if my mom bought me any of this stuff yet because she locked me out of the Amazon account, which I get it. I'm a really nosy person. Like, every single year when I was younger, I used to find the Christmas presents. Like, my parents never hid them that well. I'm sorry. Like, try better. I remember one year they hid them at our neighbors' houses because I was so nosy that I always found the stuff. And it wasn't even like I was intentionally looking for them. I would just be like, oh, I need a coat. Let me go in our guest bedroom closet. Oh, look, there's a bunch of presents. I never intentionally did it. I just am a mastermind. What if I told you I'm a mastermind? You know, people always are like, Keegan, you're so nosy. And like, yes, I am. But like, sometimes I'm not even intentionally nosy. It just happens. It's just in my blood. Anyways, I don't know if my mom bought me any of these presents yet, or Santa. If Santa bought them, I wouldn't be mad. Well, I guess he doesn't buy presents. The elves make them. If any of the elves are watching this, love you, XOXO, you do great work. I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, do you ever talk and you're like, what? One other thing that I'm asking for is a bagel slicer, which I kept talking about how I felt like maybe I was out of my bagel era, because if you guys don't know, I used to eat a bagel. Well, not used to, I still do. Like a bagel every single morning for like years and years. And the past couple weeks, I think I'm over bagels. Like, I think I've had too much of them. But no, I'm back. I'm back in my bagel era. Like, I tried to take a step away from it, but I couldn't. I just like bagels too much. Oh no, I needed milk for this recipe. I don't have milk. No, I do. Well, do I? I bought this almond beverage from Trader Joe's. I hope almond milk works. It's unsweetened vanilla. I bought this because I was like, just in case if I ever need milk and don't have it on hand, because you don't need to refrigerate this before you open it. And so I have it, and it doesn't expire until May. This saved the day. Shout out to almond beverage. Shout out. That was gonna be so bad if I was making this and they didn't have milk and I had like pause the whole video and run and go get milk. I don't know any of my neighbors, so I couldn't just be like, hello, do you have milk? They're like, who are you? See, I've been trying to tell the same story about how I asked for a bagel slicer for Christmas for like the past 5 minutes, and I haven't been able to. I'm adding 1 egg. What else did I ask for Christmas? See, I feel like I always ask for a lot of really practical things. Like, I asked for a waffle maker. I just have always wanted to be a person who wakes up on a Sunday morning and makes waffles. I think it's also because I've been rewatching Gossip Girl. They always make waffles. I think that might be a big reason why I wanted a waffle maker, but I asked for a waffle maker. I also asked for a meat thermometer because sometimes I get so paranoid with the food that I'm cooking. I'm like, is this raw on the inside? I don't know. I don't cook raw meat because it scares me. Because I don't know if it's, or I don't cook raw meat. I meant red meat. All meat is raw at the beginning. Now we're going to add 2 cups of this almond. I mean, it is literally room temperature. I've never made this with almond milk. I've only ever made this with like 2% milk. Gen Z has made drinking milk like kind of gross. You know, like, it's not cool. Also, showing your feet, not cool. I watch all these TikToks of millennials, and I kind of feel like I have a little millennial in me, okay? So I'm not one to judge millennials, because like, to my core, I feel like a zillennial. I feel like I'm at the cusp. Also, when I was younger, I always like hung out with adults. Like, I was the kid that had like adult friends, not like in a weird way. I don't know, when I was a kid, I was just always like closer with like adults than people my age, or like people older. I've been to a couple psychics. They've all told me that I am an old soul and have had lived many lives. So maybe that's why. And then we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I will say I am the most frustrating person to listen, tell a story, because I just get sidetracked every time. Like, I will tell a story and then 5 seconds later, I'm like, oh, I'm a millennial. Anyways, I was talking about how I always see, how did I even get to this point? I don't really know how I got on that topic, but I did. I'm not mad about it. Well, am I? I don't know. We're gonna bring the box back. If this camera falls into these cookies, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Probably laugh. Hopefully laugh. Ah! This looks like it's like an ad for the almond milk. Another thing that I'm asking for Christmas. Did I just splash like egg everywhere? Ew! There's a piece of hair. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Okay, 1 second, 1 moment, hold, pause, putting my hair back. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that in the video, but if I do, I'm the only one eating these cookies. Is there another hair? There can't be. Now I'm like super insecure about this. Where was I? I don't even know. I was so distracted by everything and everyone. Another thing that I asked for Christmas. I think this is the last thing that I asked for Christmas. I asked for these little hooks that you can put on the back of your car seat to hang your purse. My purse is just like always rolling around my car. And when I have like guests, or not guests, but like, you know, when I'm driving someone around, like if I'm going somewhere with a friend, I'm always like, can I put my purse by your feet? Wanted a little hook put on the back of my seat. My purse won't be rolling around. And I know where it is, especially when I go through drive-thrus. Okay, this looks beautiful. Very nicely combined. You don't want to overstir your cookies. You don't want to overstir anything. Sometimes I will just do this in the same bowl, but for like the sake of the video, I'm gonna use another bowl for the dry ingredients. My mom gave me this mixing bowl. This is like my favorite mixing bowl. It has a handle and like a little spout. Something about it I just have always loved. Like growing up, I've always loved this mixing bowl. It's the one that I used as a kid. That is so embarrassing to me. Like I just love mixing bowls. One thing that I feel like makes a really big difference for me at least is sifting your flour. It just makes the cookie so much fluffier. Maybe it's a placebo effect. I just feel like I always like them when they're sifted. But that is everything that I'm asking for Christmas. It's not a super like crazy amount of stuff. I mean, it kind of is if we're just being honest. Okay, so this is 1.5 cups and I'm using a half measuring cup. I'm not sick. I have seasonal asthma. I will say it was always embarrassing having seasonal asthma when I was younger. Like having to go to the nurse's office like after recess every time to like get a few whiffs of my inhaler. I used to get made fun of for that. And now when I tell people as an adult that I have seasonal asthma, they are so mean. Like they always make fun of me and I'm like, I didn't choose these lungs. These lungs chose me. I remember if you guys followed me, this was beginning of 2020 before COVID started, or before it was like, you know, a thing that shut down the world. This was like January. I was super sick, like on my deathbed sick. And I went to urgent care. First red flag, shouldn't have gone to urgent care, but I did. They were like, you have asthma, let's do a breathing treatment and get you an inhaler. And I was like, no, I'm in excruciating pain. I do not think this is asthma. And they're like, no, this is asthma. And I'm like, okay, I guess you're the doctor. It wasn't asthma. I had broken my rib from coughing so much. I was sick and like coughed so much that I broke my rib, but urgent care just told me it was asthma. I was like, I knew this wasn't asthma. I was like, I've lived with asthma my whole life. Every winter. I went to like a primary care physician and they did x-rays and they were like, girly, this is not asthma. You broke your rib. Sometimes I think it's a little bit of a flex that I broke my rib coughing, but other times I'm like, that's sad and expensive because those doctor's bills. Also, if you don't know, when you break your rib, there's nothing they can do about it. They just give you painkillers and they're like, good luck. Okay, now we're gonna do half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. And then, ooh, I'm using half a teaspoon here. So we're gonna do 2 half teaspoons, which equals 1 teaspoon. Math, woo! And then I always just use whatever like measuring spoon to just stir it together really quickly because I don't want to dirty another thing. Then we're gonna start folding in the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. I'm gonna do it like half a cup at a time. I like to do it slowly. I just find that it incorporates better. We're setting this back up. Do you guys have any Thanksgiving plans? I don't know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving yet. I'm gonna say something extremely controversial and people will either completely agree or they're going to come for me. I don't like Thanksgiving. I never have. I've never liked Thanksgiving. I don't like Thanksgiving food. The only Thanksgiving food that I really like is bread rolls, if I'm just being honest. And when I was younger, I don't know if anyone else does this. Sometimes I'm like, does everyone do this? Or is like my family just like weird? But black olives, I would always put them on my fingers. When I was like, you know, I would always do that when I was younger. Those are really the only 2 Thanksgiving foods that I like. So many people are gonna get mad at me for saying this. I don't like mashed potatoes. Every time I tell people, they're like, like they look like I just like murdered their best friend when I say that. I don't like mashed potatoes. I don't really like any mushy foods. I don't like oatmeal. It needs like some texture to it for me. Like mushy foods, it's just not it. Like it just kind of gives me an ick. I don't know why. So I've never been a huge fan of Thanksgiving because I don't like the food. Also, like my family's not that big and my extended family all lives in other states. So it's not like it was like a big family thing where we all saw each other all the time. Like it just wasn't like that. It was kind of always like lame and pathetic. Like if you have a really small family, unless they're super close, you know what I'm talking about. It's just kind of like you see everyone else with their cousins and like hanging out and you're just like, I'm watching YouTube videos. That's always me on Christmas, like watching what I got for Christmas videos. Oh, that was like my lifeblood when I was younger, watching those. Okay, adding in some more flour. And make sure when you're cooking to obviously scrape the side of the bowl. This is like really hard to combine with, did you see this? This is, I'm gonna take a knife and scrape this. In my humble opinion, eating the cookie dough is the best part of making cookies. Like, the dough is always better than the actual cookies, if you ask me. There's so many times that I've made cookies and I haven't even baked them. I just ate the dough and like called it a day. I prefer it that way. I'm like, why can't we normalize cookie dough as a dessert instead of just cookies? I guess it could give you salmon vanilla. Also, I know that it's not actually pronounced salmon vanilla, but I think it's funnier calling it salmon vanilla than calling it salmonella, you know? People always think that I'm like serious when I call it salmon vanilla. I'm not. Don't be worried about me. I just think it's funnier calling it that. Adds a little bit of spice to life, if you know what I mean. A couple tips that I have for you guys. If your dough comes out a little dry, you can add milk. When I add milk, I like to add it by like the teaspoon, maybe tablespoon. And if it comes out too sticky and wet, you can add flour. I like to add it by the tablespoon for flour. This one's gonna be fine. If anything, it might be a little dry, but I think one thing that is struggling with this is that I'm using this like really flimsy spatula. Like, I'm not even using a hand mixer or like a good spatula. This was like $1 from Target, but it was green, so it's like Christmas. And like, this isn't red, but it kind of felt like Christmas. I'm not gonna lie, my arm is getting tired and I am sweating like bullets. Like, I'm dripping sweat. I kind of have given up. I think this is good. This is our dough. Stunning queen. The most important part of making cookies, in my personal opinion, is tasting the dough. So that is what we're about to do. Reminds me of my childhood. If you've never made peanut butter cookies before, for this recipe, what you do is you roll them into balls and then you coat them in sugar and then you bake them. Obviously, with like chocolate chip cookies, you wouldn't roll them in sugar, but these ones you do. Kind of adds like a little bit of like a crystallized crusty edge, which I love. I love the cookie dough. Okay, let's start doing this. I will say, every single time I bake cookies, there's always so much less cookies. Like, the recipe will be like, oh, it makes 24, and it will make like 10 because I eat so much of the dough. I'm gonna spray it. You could use parchment paper. Honestly, I just feel too lazy. I have this little bowl right here, and I'm just gonna spoon in some sugar. I'm doing like 3 spoonfuls. If I need more, I'll add more. I eat a lot of the dough, so I don't expect to need all of it. I'm just using a spoon and creating 1-inch balls. Sometimes I will say that I do bake them a little bit bigger than 1 inch, and then all you want to do, drop them into your sugar mixture and then just roll it out so it's all coated nicely with sugar, and then place it on your pan. The type of cookies that I like, everyone likes different types of cookies. I like them to be a little bit taller and like chewier. Like, I like not like a crust. Crusty is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Like not crunchy either. An outer shell and then like a soft gooey center, and I like for my cookies to be a little bit taller. Some people like their cookies to be flatter, which is totally fine. I'll still eat a flat cookie. Like, I'm never gonna say no, but I like when they're a little bit taller because there's just more chewiness, in my opinion. So I'm just going to make these little dough balls. I should ask for a cookie scoop for Christmas. Actually, no, I really shouldn't, because I live alone. I should not be making cookies as often as I do. Like, it's just me, and then I eat all of them. This made 14 cookies. Some of these are a lot bigger than the other. Like, this one is huge. This goes in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. I always like to go for the shorter amount of time because I like a gooier cookie, and then I will take it out of the oven and let it carryover cook. If you don't know what carryover cook is, it's essentially when you take something out of the heat and then you let it sit on the hot pan, and it still is going to cook, but it's going to help the edges be kind of crispy and crunchy, but the inside still gooey. That is like my favorite trick for baking, is carryover cooking. So we're about to pop these in the oven for 8 minutes. Sometimes I would do like 7 minutes, but I'm not going to. When you open the oven, you kind of want to vent it like this, let all that heat out, and then open it all the way so you're not just like hit in the face with a ton of heat, because it can actually melt your mascara if you open an oven like straight to your face. Throwing these in. Alexa, set a timer for 8 minutes. I'm so sorry if your guys'
8 minutes starting now. By the way, you have a new notification. Do you want to hear it?
No. So sorry if your Alexa's like just made a timer because of that. While these cook, I'm going to clean up my kitchen. I literally shoved everything out of frame right here so you guys couldn't see it. We are going to be doing some cleaning while it cooks. If you want to, a lot of people take their cookies out halfway through and then flip them, turn the pan. I'm not going to because I'm lazy. Always an option, up to you. Make cookies how you like them. If I'm just being honest, I didn't actually clean up my kitchen. I just put everything in the sink and I was like, I'll deal with it later, because with this recipe, you place a Hershey Kiss in the center of the cookie right as it comes out of the oven. You don't wait. So you want to make sure you have all these unwrapped. I'm going to count out 14 Hershey Kisses because that's how many cookies I have made. But you just want to unwrap all these Hershey Kisses while they're in the oven, because you got to be speedy with it. Right when they come out of the oven, you're going to place them in here. Alexa, timer off. vent out the heat. Oh, they're beautiful. They're nice and tall. Stunning. Stunning. This is personally how I like my cookies. I know some people prefer them a little bit more golden brown, but that's when I like to have them carry over cook. You could put them in the oven for a couple more minutes, or you could set them on your whatever, wherever you want to set them, and kind of let them bake over. So right when they're out of the oven, you're gonna place the Hershey Kisses right on top. Grabbing these, my dirty sink, and all you're going to do is you're just gonna place the Hershey Kiss right in the center and smash it down. And there we go. There is something so satisfying about watching it crack and also getting it like perfectly in the center. It is so satisfying to me. These ones I made a little big, and I knew that when I was rolling them they were a little big, but I just think the peanut butter to chocolate ratio is a little off. Like, I think these are perfect. This one will be my favorite. Or do you guys pick out favorite cookies? You're like, which one's the prettiest? So now with these cookies, I like to let them sit for like an hour or more. You can kind of see it getting like a little melty at the bottom. In 5 minutes, if I were to just touch this would be completely melted, but they hold their shape, so you want to let them cool completely, and then the chocolate will cool so it holds its shape. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically what I'm saying, don't touch these. Just let them chill, let them hang. I know it's so hard not to eat them right out of the oven. I mean, you'll burn your mouth, but I'm someone who likes to eat these right away. But with these cookies, you have to let them chill, or else the chocolate will kind of get melted and it won't harden and keep its shape. We're gonna let these vibe while I actually do clean up my dishes. I'm gonna show you guys what happens if you touch them before they're done being cooled. We'll go with like this one, right? Do you see? Okay, this one's not the best example, but do you see how it's like kind of being smush? You know, once these cool, this will harden and stay in this shape, so just make sure you don't touch it, or else it will be like deformed. Time for the taste test. They've finally cooled. Let's pick one. She's beautiful. This tastes like my childhood. One thing, you're gonna want like a glass of water or some kind of drink with these. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. It was so fun to bake and to chat with you guys. I love you so much. I will have the recipe linked down below and all the stuff that I'm asking for Christmas as well. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Mwah.